Hey guys, it's Misty Eyez and I'm here with Queens of the Week, and it is Sexy Saturdays. This week's topic is another difficult topic. Alright, so this week I want to apologize for my video last week. Last week, I don't think I was in a dark place or a weird place, it's just, I don't know. Last week's video, I was a little extra raw or exposed or vulnerable or real, genuine. I don't know. I think I said way too much. And when it came time to post the video, I had forgotten that it was, you know, Saturday morning or Friday night, and I was like, oh crap, I have to post a video, and I was quickly trying to edit it, and I'm like, you know what? The editing was horrible. I almost didn't post it. I almost deleted it. But a lot of you have complimented me and appreciated the genuine realness that I bring to my videos, and especially that one. So I left it and it's still up. This week I won't be so vulnerable. But I will always be real, because that's just who I am. Why lie? I mean, why record a video if you're gonna lie to people? That doesn't make no sense. But this week is my topic. And as always, I like the fact that the Queens of the Week girls are not afraid to address difficult topics, scandalous topics, salacious topics, topics that allow each and every one of us to have a varied opinion on them. That's what makes us so amazing, because we're not afraid to say what we think or feel, and we don't always just agree with each other because, oh, she's pretty or she's popular, or I should agree with her because she's normally right. No, we're allowed to have our own opinions and we're allowed to share them with you, and that's what makes us unique and amazing. This week's topic is another difficult topic. I wouldn't say scandalous or even salacious, but it is difficult. I want the girls to discuss and or address sexually transmitted diseases, or STIs, sexually transmitted infections. And that's everything: herpes, gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, crabs, scabies. There's a lot of things out there. And the big one, HIV. The first question is, how do you tell your partner or new partner that you do have an STI or something sexually transmissible? How do you tell your new partner, or the first part is, how do you tell your new partner that you do have an STI or something sexually transmitted? The second part is, whose responsibility is it to ask or to tell? And the third part is, are there any STIs that you don't really gotta tell them about? Like, are there any ones that don't really matter? Alright, so this, from my video point of view, is going to be legal and moral. The first part is just going to be moral, just like human karma. Do unto others as you'd want them to do unto you. For example, generally speaking, if you're in a new relationship or with a new partner, you should always tell them. Consider it, I mean, in my life, I've had to tell people that I'm a T-girl. Like, a lot of times people meet me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or Plenty of Fish. Not Plenty of Fish. Plenty of Fish deleted my account because I was a T-girl. Plenty of Fish is not T-girl friendly, by the way. We need to address that. I've met many guys, and the uncomfortable thing, I assume that everyone knows, I mean, I'm painted like a drag queen in every picture. I'm not trying to pass myself off as a biological woman, ever. And there has been situations where guys just assumed I was a girl, I think. And that was really awkward and uncomfortable when they're in my house and they're like, oh wait. I'm like, you didn't know? Like, how did you not know? First of all, I say it in my profile. Second of all, how did you look at my pictures and not know? So now, before I invite anybody over, I always say to them, have you ever been with a T-girl before? Or, you know I'm a T-girl, right? Or something of that effect, right before they get to my house. Now the reality is, I don't know, the reality is, I'm sure we've all heard the song, Lady Gaga's Bad Romance. I want your love and I want your disease. We've all been in a situation, or many of us have been in a situation where we were so hot for somebody, or so in love, or so whatever, that we were like, I don't care. For example, many years ago in Naples, I believe the year was 2001, I was dating this guy who was HIV positive, and I knew he was HIV positive. He was very upfront and honest about it. And we were on a date, and neither one of us had condoms. And I wanted it. I was going to get it, and I was going to have it. And I was like, just do it. And he's like, no, we need condoms. He knew I was negative and wanted to respect and protect me. And he demanded that we wait until we could get to a bar or somewhere, Walgreens or whatever, to find a condom. And the hard part was we had to stop our intimacy and stop our sexual chemistry to go and get a condom. But the bad thing is, I said to him, I don't care if you give me HIV. I don't care. I just wanted it right then and right there. I was like, no, I don't care. We don't need a condom. Just do it. Granted, it was what, 13 years ago? I was much younger, much more naive, and he was much older. I've always been attracted to older guys. He was probably late 30s, and he was like, no, I will not be responsible for giving this to you. We will wait until we get a condom. If something happens, because you know how they say condoms are only 90% effective. If something happens with the condom, then that happens. But I will do what I can to protect you. Looking back, I'm so very thankful for him. I wish I can remember his name right now, because I would like to do a shout out to him and be like, because I moved, soon after we broke up, I moved to Fort Lauderdale and never looked back, basically. I remember where he worked. I can't remember his name, though. But I blatantly remember being in that situation, like, I don't care. Like, it literally said it. I don't care. Please fuck me right now. I don't care what you have. I want your lovin', I want your disease. And that song by Lady Gaga really strikes a chord in me because I've been there and it's not okay. I don't like that lyric. Because not everyone is as awesome and amazing as that guy was. Not every guy is going to respect you and protect you. You know, I know a lot, I've heard of, I don't actually know them, but I've heard of a lot of people out there that once they get diseases or HIV and they get mad, they just want to go and infect everyone. The other thing I want to talk about or think about is it's 2014. I live in a major metropolitan city like Fort Lauderdale. I don't know where everyone, I'm sure it's not like this where everyone lives, but in Fort Lauderdale, the HIV rate is so outrageously high. Retarded high. Like, it's really high. And I just assume that every person I have intimacy with is HIV positive. I have to protect myself. Because just because somebody says they're negative doesn't mean they are. For example, a dear friend of mine tells everyone he's HIV negative. He probably is, he might be. And we were down having a topic, and I get tested every 6 months. January, which is my birthday, and June, which is Gay Pride. I can remember the J and J, January and June, January and June. They're about 6 months apart. Every June, every January, I get tested. Another thing about me is I believe in taking the power away from things. The more you talk about sex, the less scary it is. The more you talk about STDs, the less scary it is. The more you talk about transgendered people, the less scary it is. If we were all educated and comfortable talking about topics, we wouldn't be so scared and frightened about them. So, in my common everyday life, we were out with friends and talking about STIs, STDs, and testing and things like that. Because we do it a lot. Respect yourself, protect yourself, blah, blah, blah. Especially when there's new gays around, because they need to hear it. They need to know it's okay to respect yourself and protect yourself. For example, I was with one of my very good friends and some other people, and we were talking about testing, and I'm like, oh, I know a place where you can get full panel tested for free. It's the Gay Men's Clinic. They do free testing on Monday and Thursday. You could go, and they do oral swabs, anal swabs, they draw blood. They test for everything, not just HIV. And that's where I go to get tested. And I was like, oh, fuck, I need to get tested again. And my friend's like, why? I'm like, oh, I get tested every June and July. June and January. And my friend's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then I look at my other friend, like, when was the last time you were tested? My friend, who tells everyone he's HIV negative, and probably is, confessed the last time he got an HIV test was the year 2005. Without putting him down in front of everybody and making him feel like a piece of shit, I basically informed him that a lot of things could happen between the year 2005 and the year 2014. Like, for example, 9 years. And even if you were a prude, that could be 9 different guys you've slept with. And without getting tested in 9 years, the chances of you staying HIV negative are high, but you can't just assume that. I understand the fact that he didn't want to know. But the problem for me is that he told people he was HIV negative. You can't tell people you're HIV negative when you don't know. I haven't been tested in 9 years means I don't know my status. Now, back to the first question. How do I tell my partner that I have an STI? Alright, so let's say you're in a text message. Let's say you're on Grindr or Blender or Scruff or Bear 411, or let's say you're in one of these chat rooms and you're talking to somebody. Oh yeah, do you want to come over? What are you into? Oh, I'm an oral bottom looking for an oral top. Oh, I'm an oral top. Blah, 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 blah. What do you like? Oh, these are my limits. These are what I like. These are what I'm comfortable with. This is what I don't like. These are my hard limits. I don't want this. I do want that. Whatever. I want to come over right now. Let's say you have a sore throat. Ah, I would love to have sex with you right now, but I have a sore throat. Now, if that person were to say, oh, I don't care, I'm not worried about a sore throat, I'm on my way, then that's their fault. That's their problem. If they get a sore throat because of me, that's on them. I did my good Christian responsibility and I warned them that, look, I'm recovering from a cold, I have a sore throat, be warned. Give them the same respect with STIs. And I'm going to go into a legal reason here in a very quick second. And I'm talking about hookups right now, just hooking up, trade. Like trading orgasm for orgasm, just some random stranger you want to come to your house and hang out. Hey, I would love to hang out right now. Let's hook up. But I'm HIV positive. If that's cool with you, I live on Oakland Park Boulevard. If that's not cool with you, peace, happy hunting. I think that's perfect and wonderful, because then you're letting them know you have a sore throat, whatever you have, and that gives them the ability to be like, oh, well, not interested. Or, so what? I'm not planning on doing anything where I get a sore throat from you, because I play with condoms. Respect yourself, protect yourself. You could even be like, yes, I will gladly fuck you, but I just want to let you know I only play safe, and or because I'm HIV, whatever. I have herpes or whatever. Now, let's say we're not talking about hookups. Let's just say we're talking about potential boyfriends or new partners. I would treat your STI like I used to treat drag. When I would date a new guy before I blew up and became Misty Eyez, Misty Eyez, the most beautiful girl in the world, I used to not tell people I did drag. as in I would hide my high heels, hide my wigs, hide my dresses, hide my makeup, so that when guys would come over, they wouldn't see anything drag related and they wouldn't know. And I just wouldn't tell them. It's none of their business. I would go on dates, I would hang out with them, but before we got to the monogamous or the let's be boyfriends or whatever part of our hanging out conversation, it was none of their business. They don't need to know what I do for a living. I'm an entertainer or I'm an actor. It's all they needed to know. But I'm not willing to date someone who's not willing to accept me for me. So of course, when our relationship or discussion or conversation or whatever started to get a little more serious, that's when I was like, oh, by the way, I just want you to know, I'm sure this is not a problem, but if it is, I'm cool, that I am a female impersonator. And if you're cool with dating somebody who is a female impersonator, I don't know why you wouldn't, but so many people have a problem with it. Like that. So treat your STI or STD like drag. If you're looking for a relationship, don't tell them that you have something until you become serious. Obviously, if you're looking for a relationship, you're not going to hook up right away. You're going to get to know each other. And then when you talk, most relationships you talk about, hey, you know, I really like you, or if you're in high school, I love you and I want to go all the way. Then that's when you're like, I like you too and I do want to go all the way with you, but you need to know this. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry, my camera died. And I'm not sure where I left off. But I know we were talking about question 1. How do I tell somebody I do have an STI or STD? And in recap, if you're just hooking up, simple. Just like you're listing what you're into. For example, are you a top or bottom? I'm looking for this, this, this. By the way, I'm STI, whatever. Just so you know, I have this. If it's cool, come over. Hooking up, I think that's the easiest way to get it out. When you're in a budding relationship, that's when I think it gets a little more tricky or complicated, because you start to develop feelings. Like, I really like him. What if he freaks out? What if he doesn't like me back? What if, what if, what if, what if, what if? And you're gonna beat yourself up with the what ifs. So, I suggested, I think before the camera died, treat it like I did drag. My theory was, let him get to know me as a person before he finds out what I do for a living. If he loves me, if he likes me, if he wants to be with me, the drag is not going to be a big deal to him. Right? Now, whose responsibility? Question number 2. Whose responsibility is it? The person positive or the person negative? Like, is it your responsibility to ask, do you have something? Or is it your responsibility to tell? Honestly, I think the responsibility lies 50-50. Me personally, I just assume everyone is HIV positive. Everyone is positive for everything. And I treat everyone as if they are. So I personally don't usually ask, but I tell people we are playing safe. Endofstory.com. Now, if you are in a situation where you're in a committed monogamous relationship with somebody else and you're not wearing a condom, like a wife or a husband or whatever, and you are having an extramarital affair, then you're not just protecting yourself, you're protecting other people. And in that situation, you'd be like, hey, look, dude, you're clean, right? Because then you have a lot more people's lives at jeopardy. Granted, you should still wear a condom, but at least you have the chance to ask. And I also mentioned at the beginning of my video, I was going to touch a little bit on the legalities, not just the morals. The morals, I think, if you have something, it's your moral obligation to say you have something. Morally, if you have something, I think you should do your very best to protect them from it. Even if you're afraid to tell them about it, make sure you don't do anything risky that could infect them. Like, always wear a condom, for example. Now, the legalities. Florida has a thing called the disclosure law, which means by law, you are obligated to tell anybody you have sexual intimacy with, oral, anal, or vaginal, that you are HIV positive and or positive of any STD by law. Even in a bathhouse, even at a glory hole, even at a hookup, by law, you have to tell someone you are positive of something before you have sexual relations with them. Granted, at a bathhouse or a glory hole or whatever, it's going to be really hard to ever find this person again, let alone talk to them again, and or risk them pressing charges or you pressing charges, for example. But by law, sexual intimacy, if you have something, you're required to tell them of any sexual act. Florida is not the only state this. 34 other states also have a disclosure law. I'm not sure which ones, but I know that 34 other states, which is the majority of the states in the United States of America, have a disclosure law, which means if somebody has sex with you and they know they're positive of something, example, HIV, and they infect you knowing that they are positive, you can prosecute them against the penalty of law. In having sex with somebody that, if you're HIV positive and you have sex with somebody and not tell them, that is a 3rd-degree felony. But then it gets complicated. You would have to prove that they knew they were positive and that they never told you that they were positive. So courtrooms can get very messy, but again, it's the law. And it's a 3rd-degree felony, which means you can go to jail for having sex with somebody and not telling them, and which means you can go to jail if you have sex with somebody and not tell them you're positive, knowing that you are positive. So, like I said, how do you tell people you're positive? If you're just hooking up, do it in your list of things. I'm an oral bottom looking for an oral top. By the way, I'm HIV positive. If you are an oral whatever, I'm a pig slut, whatever, or I'm into this, and I'm also positive for this. If that's cool with you, get back to me. Come over. Whatever. Just list it as if it's nothing. As if you do it all the time. As if, so what? I know you're not going to care. Or, if you're afraid, you can always be like, hey, look, I just want to let you know I do want to hook up with you, but I only play safe, and I'm positive for whatever. Relationships, I would probably wait with this conversation until before you have sex. Not waiting until, of course, you're in bed having sex. But on your first date, if you don't sleep on your first date, for example, I wouldn't be like, hi, I'm positive of whatever in the first 5 minutes. Let's get to know each other first. Yeah. It's a very complicated thing. It's very messy. But it is in black and white in the law. By the law, 34 states say if you infect someone and you knew you were positive before you infected them, it's a 3rd-degree felony. Don't do it. Just don't. Respect yourself and respect others. Just wear condoms. Pretend like everyone's positive and protect yourself. That's it. I don't know. It's just our generation today, they think that they're immune to everything. Oh, I'm not going to... It won't happen to me. Lies. If it wouldn't happen to you, it wouldn't happen to anyone. And it does. And it did. Just respect yourself, protect yourself. That's it. I'm still negative. And I'm very sexually active. And every time I get tested, every time I play safe, but every time I get tested, I'm still scared. Like, what if? So I've thought of a lot of these. Like, how do I tell, what do I do? But also, I had sex with a guy the other day, 3 nights ago? right before he went to go down on me, he's like, I just had a tooth pulled. Is it okay if I put on a condom? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I mean, I'm more concerned with the fact that he's interested in pleasing me and seducing me and turning me on. I don't care if he puts a condom on me. In fact, I kind of forgot it was there before the, he did a really good job. He turned it. Protected himself just in case he, a lot of people don't know what they can get orally or anally, for example. And he was just like, look, I'm going to hook up with this girl and she's going to wear a condom. And I was fine with it. I'm totally fine with it. I was more into the fact that he wanted to please me, whether the fact that there was a condom or not had nothing to do with it. I'm not going to say, no, you have to suck me without a condom. No, I'm not going to say that. But yeah, that was Misty Eyez with a sexual topic for Queens of the Week. Loving you, Zizi.